So, um, I can show you something. In here, someone messed with this. Remember that I said that the cats had opened it? Someone just ripped it off and put it back. I know that because the box is over there. There was no passage here. See this crevice here? Yeah, that didn't exist. The box was fully piled up and the things on top of it. Something was there to cause it to change positions, and that wasn't me. That wasn't the cat HLI. And so, as I said to you, it's very likely that the cats might have caused a little bit of the scratches, but who ripped it off was some of them. And in true fashion, like, you know, the charger on the other phone, on this phone, they also ripped it off one day, and the next day they come to do something else, and the next day they come to something else, and the type of pussy, you know, whatever the fuck this is, that Mission Math is known for. Again, as I said, it takes a long route for you to go from a position of control into being known internationally as piss and shit by face. And that's the point. Also, you can notice that the bag is, while before it was just ripped down and seemingly open, right now is all over the place around it. Because piss and shit couldn't be bothered to actually put it back in place as it was. So it's very clear that the bag has been pushed down and removed. Essentially, what I imagine they did was to remove this entire thing and put it back, or at least try to. Trying to might be the thing as well, which we have sure that this thing is for today. Either way, again, I showed you before, you see it now, maybe it's just an impression of mine. I don't know how downstairs it looks very much like it's shoved to the side instead of staying in a whole single pile. That wasn't me, as I said before. And that was it. Now, could the cats being ragged in the bag? Yeah, it's possible. But the cats that the food, nothing food inside. But it's more likely there was some of them they tried to remove, realized it couldn't work, or everything already changed places there, and something else. So, my issue though is, my pressing issue is this. I don't know where I'm gonna put that to stay away from the rain. I know that there is a place that was perfect, but it didn't occur to me yet, likely because of something they're throwing on me. The face over there, but doesn't fit straight. That's just something narrow. So I don't fully know. This is for the baby, by the way. I prepared these days. Don't really need to know if he comes here now, but it is safe because you can all remove this easily. There's a passage for the bag, so he can just escape. And over there in that one as well, it has the little visor here, which he can see through and also escape in case the criminals getting nearby. Again, everything done to keep them safe. Meaning that nothing but the use of heavy narcotics on them in a way that they somehow didn't predict to this point, which again, the baby saw each sibling that he had being kidnapped by the criminals. So I say that that's a big fucking question. A big ask, not a question. An ask is often a question, but not every question is an ask. It doesn't make any sense. That's my mental state. But as I said, even though I'm not feeling any of those symptoms physically, the psychological impact of the drugs is very much here. During the entire time, as I said, I was being under close watch from one of the devices and from the criminals. There's no halfways about it. And my opinion to you, my suggestion to you is just pin them down to what they're saying. If they want to make a disparaging remark, they're putting their name on the line, right? So once you prove how much they know, you prove how much they stalk, then you prove how much what they're saying is not disinformation, it's out of active affirmation. In other words, they'll be lying, they're not being correct, they're not being mistaken, they'll be lying. So again, and I just want to point this out one final time, the idea that with all those things that I have to carry with me, including Chip's box, not the one on top, but Chip's box, the specific and active remark by the criminal, that I could put the thing here to stay here the whole day, again, his own words, but somehow leaving the crate, leaving the things there by themselves, in much folded in fashion. So, well, now you're seeing everything open up. Before, by then, it would be everything closed down. It's temporary, but I cannot think another place, and there's not even a good one for the one that I actually need to move. I just want you to be dealing with some of those things. When you notice this stuck up in my head, as I cannot make a decision, I cannot move, and this is one of the major symptoms of the drugs being thrown on me. Psychological ones, not the major, but one of them is very straightforward. You see that happening several times. You see them taking advantage of that several times. You see several times that they use this to delay me, to stop me from making a decision, to stop me from moving. Several times, right? The whole decision is simple this. In my hand, do I charge the phone a bit more? Do I put it there to charge, by the way, 8% in this little few minutes. 6 minutes. Do I charge a little bit more? Do I keep it with me? What do I do? As I say that's the very goal. That's the very objective. That's the very thing that I'm talking about. To live there in a way where the lack of decision is actually what pins me down instead of a bad decision. Very relevant. Yeah. The earpods are there and they're charged enough. It's strictly to get this phone charging. Not necessarily pick up again. Make it very explicit, very absurd what they're doing to the phones of these days. No, again, back to the same problem. And again, this has far-reaching consequences, as I said before. Every time you see me struggling to move this, every time you see things like that. Now again, I was not even considering leaving the evidence box here. I don't know how this happened. Yeah. It didn't happen today, it's already known, but still don't know how it happened, when it happened. So, it boils down to this. And wait a minute, I cannot move. Did you forget? They ripped the bag, so I need to put another bag in here to replace the one they ripped to even be able to take the first step out. Because they don't even have a stretch anymore. Remember yesterday as I was crossing the highway back? So, again, plus chips because of their crimes to her mom. You start to see the pattern already, right? How every single thing that seems to be happening coincidentally this month alone beneficiates them greatly to pin me down to this place specifically. So, again, everybody's blind, everybody's stupid, they're the only ones that are smart. The musulmans are the ones who are known as musulmans, they're the ones that are smart to everybody else. The ones who caught doing felonies, and very specifically doing felonies, the ones to addressed by place, they think their mask is gonna hide. Again, more power to what they think is gonna happen. Just let those videos stay there. All those things are public. All the use of drugs is absurdly public. As for me, as for what it goes, it does take someone just showing up here, a simple cop without uniform, any day, because it's not like you stop for this when there's someone passing the street. So any day, anyone doing so, you notice this. And also have all the other symptoms, both on my body that you witness happening as mid-film, or mid-audio recording, or mid-call, or mid-whatever, and you get to see very clearly. The attitude, as you're just witnessing now, of the true victims of this crime, right? You notice the acting up, the attitude, the hands, the head, the whole strip, like that. So, again, for what you get to see. Anybody arriving there will notice. Now, again, today the drugs are less noticeable physically, they're more psychological, even though you can clearly notice that, as I said. And again, so as I said, that's the reality for what the crimes they're doing. The proof exists here, and all the other terabytes of data. And those are the places that can be the only ones doing now. Right now, I think the wind is blowing from the front as well. Yeah, it's blowing from the front. So that caveat, but other than that, every other day it blows from the back, but the other ones they use. Plain and simple, straight effort to say. What's your chip now? Battery is now at 7%. You can see that for the battery saver thing. Pretty good.